Good morning. It is about 8 o'clock and off to a disheveled start. I just realized I should probably have re-braided my hair, but it's only because we got into camp so late last night. We ate at Skyland Resort, which was planned, and it was very good and very filling. And then we had about a mile to camp at a place beyond Skyland that was allowed in the park. When we got there, and my headlamp or my flashlight picked up like a piece of reflective tape in the distance from like a tent. I thought, well, somebody else must have camped here. And I was trying to look around. It was dark, trying to find places for us to camp. And Untouchable had his phone light on, so he couldn't see very well. But I kept catching the reflection of that tape. And finally, we heard somebody call out, "Hello?" We're like, oh, okay, so it is somebody camped here. And we're like, oh, sorry, I hope we didn't wake you. I said, are you camping here tonight? Which was kind of a dumb question, but he was like, no, I live here. I was like, you live here? It's a national park. It's right off a very popular trail, very exposed to people. And yeah, it was weird. And it looked like kind of like a car camping tent. So we were both kind of weirded out by that and decided to hike on. And then far out, it said there were other campsites up ahead, not far. They were not there. Either that or we just couldn't see them in the dark. But we wound up hiking almost 3 extra miles to get to a site that finally had some level spots. So once we got set up, we were both just kind of punch drunk and talked through our tents for a good hour about just characters we've met on the AT and how you could write a book just about the people you meet out here. So it wound up being a fun story. And that's what spurred it too, just saying every day there's a story, at least one. But we are going to hike about 21 miles today to another shelter. The bird's nest shelter. I think it's just meant to be used for day use, but I'd sleep in there if it were raining. Looks like an old fire pit and even an old water fountain. That's funny. Be nice if it still worked. You gotta move. This tree is really cool. This little arm hanging down. So good afternoon from the trail. It is probably about 4:30 or so, maybe 5. I don't want to look because I'm gonna roll into camp probably around 7:38. We had a little detour today when we realized the wayside wasn't open. Untouchable decided he wanted to go into Luray, hitch into Luray. And since he is a master hitcher, I agreed to tag on. We got to the gap, and there really weren't many cars coming in our direction, and the road was this mountain, curvy road with hardly any shoulder. So he said, let's give it 5 cars before we call a shuttle. And 5 cars took not long, probably 10 minutes to pass. But meanwhile, one of them was a tractor trailer, and there's nowhere for people to really stop. So I was getting a little anxious and kind of kept hinting, maybe we should just call a shuttle. All of a sudden, these 2 guys just stopped in the middle of the road and let us in. And then down in the curve beyond that, there was another car waiting on us at a pullout. So I'm telling you, kids got the touch. And I doubted. How did I doubt? Because I've watched it over and over. He gets it so quick. But anyway, had a good time in Luray. Ate a wonderful tabbouleh breakfast bowl thing at this little coffee shop that was so friendly. Went into another store or cafe to get lunch because it looked like heartier portions. And I thought, well, the breakfast bowl can be an appetizer. And they kind of looked me up and down like, you don't belong. So I left. I got a little irritated with that and went to a sub shop that the outfitter recommended and got a sub to pack out tonight. So portobello mushroom sub, it looks delicious. And I got a coffee, iced coffee. It was kind of a riff on an old fashioned that had bitters in it. Some kind of fruity cold foam cream. It was delicious. So it was a good stop. And then the owner of the outfitter took us back to the trail. I wanted to buy 2 things from them. One, a cooler cloth, P-rag, because I left mine at the hostel or the farm. I've texted the owner. She's not texted back. I think it must have gotten lost in her washer or dryer because I don't remember seeing it in the clothes bag, and neither does Untouchable. But I haven't heard back, but I need it. So I want to get a new one, and then a buff, because I think I flushed my buff down the toilet today. As crazy as that sounds. I was wearing my white shirt that I sometimes wear instead of this one, and decided to change back into this one. But I took off the white one and pulled this one over my head. And I think it pulled the buff down behind my head, and it fell down into the toilet because I was in the bathroom. And I was literally just flushed the toilet. That's the only thing I can think that happened. So it's a very sentimental buff and a sentimental cooler cloth, oddly. A trail angel gave it to me after driving like 2 hours round trip to hunt one down for me when I lost mine on the Superior hiking trail. She met me at trailhead and took me home, gave me the cool cloth, drove me 1,000,000 miles to get to the terminus of the trail. So Cindy, if you ever watch this, I love you, and I love that cooler cloth. But I think I'm gonna have to replace it now. But probably 7 more miles to camp is my guess. Making good time, but definitely tired. That right there is the last mountain I gotta climb today. Oh, looks big. It seems like in Virginia, every day has ended with a big old mountain that beats the rest. But good thing is, I know I can do it, and I will do it, but I'm gonna grumble the whole way up.